And that's what makes an entrepreneur
Absolutely.
an entrepreneur is everybody else is thinking in that box and you think outside of the box and what can I do with this little budget, this little idea that I have.
Yep.
And you can take over the world and be the next Amazon.
Absolutely.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Newsroom. I am Neil Winteregg, joined by Dr. Greg Winteregg, CEO of Matterhorn Business Development. He's also an author and a dentist, and we're gonna be talking today about a news article that I found, and I did go over this one with you because it was quite unique. Usually I surprise him.
Right.
If you're new to the channel, we like to take business newsroom type topics, things that are happening on a big scale, and talk to them also on a smaller scale to actually teach you a lesson about what you can learn. Now, today I have an interesting type of a topic here. And when I started reading this article, it was not out of looking for something to talk about. But the way the author ended the article, it really made me think. So I'm gonna read some of these pieces to you, explain to you, and then hit the bottom where the key point is. This is an article, it's off of a website called The Drive. The Drive is an automotive website. I go there to get car news and all kinds of stuff. And they have a section in there about technology related to military, et cetera, et cetera. And there was an article that says Disney's plan to fly X-Wings over Star Wars Park speaks to perception manipulation tactics. It looks like Boeing and Disney's Imagineers have joined forces to make flyable X-Wings, and it should remind us that seeing shouldn't mean believing. Now, the article goes in to talk about how Disney has done these types of things before, where they team up with a group and they find a way to make the unbelievable believable. They have a flying dragon that they did a few years ago to open up a part of the
And
new
the
park.
X-Wing is that...
Yes, the X-Wing is from Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Star Wars nerd, but I know that that's what the X-Wing is. And there's some really cool photos of these things basically being put together out of drones and special piping and things like that. And it really does look like a flyable X-Wing.
Yeah, right out of the movie.
Yeah, and the article talks about how perceptions mean a lot, particularly in a military sphere where the US might make a new plane and leak photos of something to make other countries think, oh my gosh, they have this amazing technology, which we don't, but it's a total, just like a trap.
Yeah, I think in World War II, we threw cardboard soldiers out of a plane to make them think there was an attack coming somewhere.
Britain actually made a city of lights miles away from downtown to have bombers hit them.
Right.
And they would think, oh, well, we're a couple degrees off course, but that's the city and all the lights are off. So people have been using deception. Yeah. And so the article was interesting from that degree because he's talking about deception and things like that. And I want to read an article on this and tell you kind of how this applies to you because this is going somewhere, I promise, okay?
It does have a business application for you.
Yes, absolutely. Although Disney, and this article, by the way, is written by a guy named Tyler Rogoway. He's the main contributor to this section here. And it says, although Disney, a company more known for its animated characters and well-themed rides, not visionary aerospace design, pulling off such lifelike flying dragon is worth a post in itself, there are some lessons to be learned here when it comes to combat aviation and geopolitics. So he's talking about an earlier article where Disney made a flying dragon and everybody was blown away by this dragon. Now, obviously it wasn't a real dragon.
It's done at night and it really looks like a flying dragon.
It does, it's great. And he says the ability to fly an incredibly lifelike dragon over a crowd of tens of thousands of people and still have the average grown-up amazed is an accomplishment that those in the aerospace defense world, especially many often wrong, but highly published journalists should take note of. Once again, Disney is not an aviation company, but their Imagineering team is known to be able to do amazing things with relatively small amounts of money. They know exactly what they can get away with and what they cannot when it comes to tricking a person's senses and perceptions. So the article continues on and it's talking about, sensing perceptions like we talked about here.
Yeah.
And he says, there are countless examples of asymmetric warfare throughout history, starting with David and Goliath, but still, as a technologically obsessed society, we must begin to come to terms with the fact that the more complex and more capable is not always better, especially if such assets are only procured in small numbers. In some ways, I would love to see what the United States Air Force's Flying Dragon would have looked like and cost compared to Disney's. If both teams were given the same goal, make a 40-foot dragon appear real as it flies through the air at night at a few hundred feet above the ground. I predict the United States Air Force's Dragon would have cost tens of millions of dollars, and would not have been ready for Disney's big unveiling, although it would have been needlessly powered by a jet engine, been unmanned, cruised at 25,000 feet, and had the ability for the remote operator to control a swarm of other dragons, although none exist, and such a capability was never asked for in the original goals. In the end, I believe this old saying rings true. Beware the man with a limited budget and an unlimited imagination. And so I think that this really brings entrepreneurship to the forefront of things.
No question.
You look at what Disney's doing to create X-Wing fighters and a flying dragon, and it brings up the point of, if Boeing had done this, if the United States Air Force, if Lockheed, if all these people did this, their flying dragon would have been amazing. But like he said, it would have traversed the globe, it would have flown at 30,000 feet, and it wouldn't have been the same effect as what a tiny budget of just imaginative thinkers could do.
Right. So then, we're small business owners and we give advice to small business owners. And sometimes you can sit back and you can look at a Walmart or an Amazon or a Whole Foods now. You're like, oh my gosh, how can I compete with those guys? Well, they do have unlimited budgets for the most part.
Yep.
And they have all kinds of technologies and et cetera behind them. But get the idea of trying to turn the battleship with one tugboat. Trying to get those companies to change. You could have taken this very simple project and given it to NASA or the Air Force or whatever, and all of a sudden it would just been blown out of proportion, cost $1 billion, and would have been delivered late.
Yeah.
Not what was asked for. So as a small business owner, this is where we actually have advantages, because a small budget makes us use our imagination
We
more.
really think more and have the ability to create in a different manner.
And how can we get the same end result, if not better, faster with a lower budget? Because that's all we have to work with.
And it kind of takes me back even what you guys talk about with your profit first.
Absolutely.
It's like when all the money's come said and done and you have only this much money to spend, you get creative with what you can do with it.
Exactly.
And I think that this article, and I really appreciate Tyler Rogaway's wording of that, beware the man with a limited budget and unlimited imagination.
Yes.
You can do a lot with $50 as a thank you to a client. Than maybe $1,000 as a thank you to a client.
Right. So you could, with $50 instead of $1,000, you can, go on their Facebook page, put a photo album together that means a lot more to them than $1,000 bottle of scotch or something. So,
which we will accept the scotch. Mailing address below.
But I guess here's the point that we want to make in all of this. Never underestimate your imagination.
Yeah.
Never underestimate your creativity, and never use your budget as an excuse.
Because you could say, oh, well, Disney is Disney and they have this unlimited budget. They don't put an unlimited budget into these projects.
No,
the Flying
this is your
Dragon.
budget. Here's how much you have.
The Flying Dragon was taking one of those paraglide planes, right? Is that what they're called?
Paraglider.
Yep. It's got the engine on the back and you fly it with a one-man thing and it's got the umbrella canopy top. And all they did was take some piping, put what looked like a dragon on it, put a little motor in it to make the arms go like this, and somebody flew it. I mean, you could make that in your garage.
Exactly.
And somebody thought that far in advance.
Exactly.
And here's thousands and tens of thousands of people going, oh, a dragon, And now they're going to do the same thing with these X-Wing fighters. They're going to take a drone. They're going to put PVC piping on it. They're going to spray paint them a certain color. They're going to put lights on it. They're going to make it look cool. And people's minds will be blown.
Yeah.
They would think that they're watching a Blue Angels display that costs millions of dollars to put on. And people will be just as imaginative and blown away by that. And that's what the entrepreneur is.
So never use your budget as an excuse.
Yep.
You can out-create Amazon, Walmart, Whole Foods.
I mean, and interestingly
and
enough,
probably do it better.
Let's just look at Amazon for a second. It was started in a garage.
Yeah.
With no budget. It was started with only imagination.
Yes.
The idea that people are no longer going to buy books, but buy them on a device, and everybody said, you're an idiot.
Exactly.
And where did it go?
Yeah.
It went from books to the world. I mean, but that was done with imagination and no budget.
Yeah.
Out of a garage.
Absolutely.
So these things can spark that way, and your business is the same.
And you all have this creative ability in you. And as long as you really have the purpose of helping people and you really enjoy what you're doing, which we'll make other videos about that.
Yeah, we'll make other videos about it. But this article started
Love the
off
article.
as me just reading it as being interested. And then the
Love
very end, I made it to the last page. And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And I had never thought of it that way. So I want to thank The Drive and The War Zone and Tyler Rogaway for having this article in there. I read it just as the thing, and then it actually made me think of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the total entrepreneurial spirit, and this is what embodies the entrepreneur.
2 thumbs up to Tyler.
Very well done to you guys. I hope this helps you think outside the box.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the power of your imagination.
Yeah, so awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave your comments down below. We will post the article down below as well. Give a thumbs up, subscribe, and we will see you next time.